All right. Okay, hey Virgo, this one's for you. This is Tarot Lumination over here. That's you, Virgo. And this is your Aquarius new moon eclipse mini micro reading for February 15th, 2018. And because it's the eclipses, it has kind of a long trajectory. And we're doing a whole playlist for everybody. And, we don't do this all the time, but it seemed kind of a big deal, with this Aquarius new moon thing. It's really kind of powerful, and it's very much aligned with the South Node Aquarius right now. That's happening for everybody. So for you, Virgo in particular, this would be happening in your sixth house in terms of the astrology over there, like habits, your service to, you know, the world, so to speak, just the things that you bring to the world with regard to like service, or maybe sometimes thankless tasks, thankless things, but it's still deeply appreciated and very deeply needed. And it's, with the new moon, it's very much about beginnings and endings. So over there with the South Node, it's sort of like a stark awakening about realizing all these like a lot of habits that are probably deeply ingrained for many years that are no longer working for you, that are obsolete, where you have these stark awakenings like, oh my gosh, this stuff isn't working anymore. I got to start off doing something new. How am I going to like take care of myself better, my habits, my day-to-day practices? Because with the Virgo energy over there, especially in the sixth house where you're getting that new moon eclipse, it's kind of significant. And habits are what they are. You can have good habits and you can have bad habits. So it's all about waking up to what are your good habits that need to be instilled into your life going forward, and releasing and letting go of all the old habits, refining, cleansing, purifying, perfecting, improving, getting things in order, clear, 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 clear. Okay? So anyway, I got a bit carried away there. Sorry about that. Uh, no oracles, no reversals, no flyers, none of it. No, none of that stuff. We're just going to do a very simple thing like we do for Sunday Night Live, and we're going to make the best of it. Okay. So here you go. Cards were well shuffled in advance, but I like to go to the last second so that you're a witness, and I like to tell you that while we're doing it. So I'm splitting up the deck here pretty radically. We've been getting a lot of synchronicities in the readings here, so that impels me to make even more radical cuts and shuffles, because I like to keep everything as clear as possible and unimpeded. Here's the situation. Here's the challenge. Here's how we're going to handle it. And this is circumstantial energy. We're going to look at that in a moment. And you, Virgo, being very practical and very aware and astute, and liking things to work properly, you're going to make the best of that, just like the rest of us, hopefully. So you've got the Nine of Pentacles here. So this might be a really good opportunity for you right now to see how you can find ways to um, like improve the quality of your habits, your lifestyle, your practices, your day-to-day routines in such a way that brings you closer and closer and closer to your own, let's say, integrity, your own wholesomeness, your full wholesomeness, which is very, very important to Virgos, so that you don't really have to like answer to anyone and everyone else out there. It's all about you now, and it's a chance for, this is a really, really good opportunity for you to figure out what works for you as opposed to everyone else, and what works, uh, what were you doing for everyone else to accommodate everyone else that is obsolete now. The Aquarius new moon eclipse is right on the South Node. So it's all about becoming starkly aware of what's redundant and obsolete, needs to be let go, and becoming starkly aware of the new things that are coming to you that are more effective and workable. So this is, let's just say, it's divine timing. It's a really good time for you to like consolidate all this so it works for you. What's the situation? Look at that. Sun. It's almost like, wow, it's almost like This is exactly what I was hoping for, exactly what I was wishing for, and it makes me feel good. And I don't even have to explain it or understand why. The important thing is to feel good. It's so, so important, Virgo, to feel good and to feel happy from the inside out, and that you own it, so that it's not, your happiness is not contingent upon the other, or contingent upon whatever else is happening out there in the community with you. It's all about you now, okay? And the most important thing to do is to, like, it's almost like focus, deeply focus on what is healthy for you, not what it's healthy for everybody else and like the broad thing. Okay, that's wonderful, because Virgo is so much about service to others. Now it's about you. Okay, letting go of what's not working for you and incorporating and integrating what does work for you incrementally, step by step by step, in a way that it's very, very simple to measure. In other words, do I feel good about this? Yes. Okay, then do that. Is something wrong about this? Then stop doing that. So what's the problem here? Okay. Okay, we got the Two of Cups here in the challenge position. So it makes me feel like when it comes to, like, I mean, this might sound a little bit extreme for this reading, but when it comes to self-love, maybe, because Virgo is the energy is so much used to being in service of others, like being the kindly maid, the kindly, dutiful caretaker, the kindly, oh, I'll take care of that for you. I'll do the dishes. I'll take the dog for the walk. I'll mop up after you. I will understand your woes and miseries, and I'll push you in the wheelchair, and I'll do the minivan mom stuff, whatever it is. I'll do all the cooking and the chores, and everybody just takes that for granted. And now it's all about, like, having doubts about, it's like having doubts about your own love of self. Like, is like, it's almost like Virgo is saying, like, is this really true? Is this really allowed? Are people allowed to do that? Am I allowed to love myself? Is that like, that's whoever thought about that? No, but it's okay. And having doubts about the purity and the simplicity of this, that would make sense right now. So if the challenge is the self-love in the simplest forms possible, the most innocent self, in other words, almost like being an innocent child and looking in the mirror and thinking, like, you know, wow, that's me. Wow, you're kind of cool. I like you. You're kind of quirky. You're kind of weird. You've got these good things. You've got these bad things going on, but that's you. Wait a minute, that's me. And it's okay to love you, okay? Instead of giving it all away, so to speak. So if you're having doubts about the issue, the concept of love, in the simplest terms, self-love, the ability for you to receive love and nurture from others, then that would make sense right now. And it's time to, like, switch the habits around in such a way that, well, I'm not going to tell you how to do it because that's over here right now, but in the challenge section, it's the whole, it's to do with the simplest, purest forms of understanding of what love is. Love of self first and foremost, without having to apologize. Virgo, you can be so utterly selfless that the whole idea of being happy for you and loving yourself first and taking care of yourself and treating yourself as your own best soulmate, oh, that's just like, that's obscenely selfish and indulgent. Well, actually, my feeling here as your reader is that it's just the opposite. Okay, how are we going to deal with this? Okay, my feeling is with the Five of Pentacles here, it's an understanding about how, for like maybe unending years, you could have been your own worst enemy, whereby doing what is very, very typical or common for Virgo, where you are very let's say, self not effacing, but self-limiting, where you're constantly saying, okay, okay, I'll pick this up for you. I'll take care of that. It's just my job. That's what I do. The dutiful servant, the dutiful maid, the dutiful caretaker, and all of that. But it gets to the point where it becomes impoverishing, where you're actually not helping anybody because you're undermining yourself on a continuous basis. So my feeling here with the eclipse is that this is a really, really good time for you to become starkly aware of what it feels like to feel good. And then allow that to happen, allow the love to flow, allow the love to flow to you that you deserve, that might be you might be attracting without even being aware of it. If you think of it in terms of a movie, like if you're just like the what would be perceived as a scruffy maid or something like that, but someone else sees you as something divinely beautiful and you can't understand why, it's because deep down you have that, okay? And then when you don't acknowledge that, you don't accept that, and you just carry on as though you're just like insignificant, that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of impoverishment. And you realize, oh my God, I've been impoverishing myself the whole time without even knowing it. Um, you know, with all the best of intentions, but ultimately, you have a right to be happy just like everyone else, Virgo. You have a right to foster and nurture good habits of loving and being loved for you, where you get the chance and the right to be happy. It's almost like a Cinderella story here. That's what I'm feeling, where you get the chance to, uh, you know, be the belle of the ball. You get to be the person who is loved and appreciated. It's almost like a rags to riches story. That's what I'm feeling here, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. And being aware of that, being very, very starkly aware of the Five of Pentacles energy, in that a lot of it is to do with the relationships that we select. Okay, so anyway, I've talked too much already. I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you, Virgo. Thank you for coming to Tarot Illumination. I hope you get something out of it. Bye bye.